out. With that, you ready, Doc? Or are you
Yeah,
recording?
let's get
Okay,
started.
cool.
So hi everyone, it's Ashley Maltz, the founder of Austin Wellness Collaborative. I'm here with Lex, my little sheep. She's a sheep, but she's
Mine's over there.
too. And I'm hoping she doesn't steal my lacrosse ball because she is obsessed with balls and I won't get it back.
There she is.
Anywho, oh, Frankie?
There's Frankie.
Hi, Frankie.
Yeah, she's not having it this morning. She goes to her little area. Oh, she's barking now. I'm about to put her outside.
So we're here with Michael Benavidez, Mr. FixIt, for his the part 2 of foam rolling. The first one was the front body. No, the back.
First one was calves, hamstrings, and lats.
Yes, and now
now we're gonna do some front body stuff.
Front body. Sorry,
front and back.
In my.
Well, you know, I'm glad you put back on there because a lot of the stuff that happens in our front directly affects our back, and we don't put those two together. So you'd be amazed. We're like, oh, my quads are literally pulling my entire torso down. No wonder my back always hurts to be able to sit upright. So this is actually it's good timing.
Awesome. So Michael, why don't you introduce yourself again and tell the folks at home how to get in touch with you, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. My name is Michael Benavidez. I am the owner and founder of Fit Therapy ATX. I have been a massage therapist, trainer. I have a degree in nutritional sciences from A&M. Whoop. Sorry, all you UT fans. Please don't get off the call. And I've been now doing this for going on 22 years. So I've definitely seen many trends come and go. You know, even to the point of jazzercise has come and gone a couple of times over. I just think they call it now Zumba. You know, there's been many recyclings of all this. And if there's one thing that has been recycled is definitely the foam roller. So we're going to be obviously going through a little bit of this. We went through a lot of education of how it came about the first session, so we won't do that as much this round. So we're going to go right into the good stuff. If you want to get a hold of me, feel free to jump on my Facebook page for either Fit Therapy ATX, for Michael Benavidez. I'm there on there. Don't judge me because I don't have a cigar in my mouth in that photo. Also, I also have Instagram, which I'm not as Insta savvy as the rest of the other people. I think as I've gotten into my 40s, the farther away I get away from Instagram, I need to quit that story and jump on board. And other than that, you know, always feel free to reach out to me. I am doing some one-on-one Zoom sessions if you are needing some very specific, focused, really trying to pinpoint what musculoskeletal issue is really bothering you. And believe me, you have all the tools you need at home. You do. Even to the point where olive oil can come to your aid whenever you don't have any massage cream. But it works. It really does. So, or fractionated coconut oil, whatever you need. Other than that, you know, let's get going. Any questions starting out, or any particular issues that people are really wanting to? We can just do that later. Let's pose that for later. But Doc, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Now, if users at home, if they don't have a foam roller, what can they use?
Oh yeah. So if you don't have a foam roller, some of my best options I like for people to use are a tennis ball. Obviously, if you have a tennis ball, these are usually really, really great. And tennis balls usually come in packs of 20 or packs of 3. So when you get those tennis balls, you can now turn them into dog toys, or technically these are little bit therapy ways where you can actually put the tennis ball in the sock, in a large tube sock, and you can use this in many ways to help, you know, put the ball against the wall, use it as a trigger point tool. Other ways too is those other 2 balls, you take the other sock and you actually make a thing we call a peanut. So the peanut is what helps to, especially for spinous processes or muscle bellies, to where you're trying to create a little bit more of a pinching effect as you do that. So this is a really good way of you know, the cheapest and best way of doing some of that foam rolling and trigger point if you don't have one. You know, foam rolling has been around for a long time. So these guys like this from Trigger Point, which is my favorite company, for foam rolling, they, you know, these guys are running about 30 bucks, maybe a little less depending on if it's on sale. You have one of the big white foam ones. Those are always really good. And, you know, honest to God, I've used yoga blocks as a foam roller. I've used yoga blocks as just something that allows compression in an area that you know is where there's a site of an adhesion or not. And it's not, the point of foam rolling is not to roll over the muscle. The point of foam rolling is to target where the area is. It gives a nice little kind of different kind of textured area to it. And then you actually move the joint and manipulate the body, not the roll. That's something that has definitely changed over time in foam rolling to where, like, you know, oh, I got to just roll this up and down my body and I'll be okay. No, you know, that's something that's going to give you a little bit of relief, but not the kind of relief that you're looking for, especially whenever you're trying to get really, really deep past those superficial muscles and into the deep muscles that are really where probably a lot of, you know, a lot of trigger points kind of hide. So guys like this are definitely worth it. I've had this thing for like 5 years. It's not going to break on you unless your dog gets a hold of it. That's your fault. You know, and there's other options there too, to where you have foam rollers that actually vibrate. I don't know if you can hear this. Yeah, so foam rollers that actually vibrate, which creates a whole other level of sensation that we call upregulation and downregulation, to where you are actually now treating using the skin to a whole new level to hack the brain to be able to find relief into that area where you're having pain, which is, you know, obviously vibration. As you go low vibration, the body starts to kind of go into a lower vibration, kind of a relax. As you go heightened vibration, the body will do the same. And so you want to create heightened vibration in areas where the muscle is kind of like lax. And you want to create lower vibration whenever you actually have areas where they're always super tense. Like usually, like, you know, you have your shoulders, they're all up in here. You know, you would want to kind of down regulate the shoulders, but you'd also want to up regulate those lats to kind of get that balance back. So a lot of other opportunities there. Yeah, so again, and little tools like, you know, this one vibrates, that one vibrates, you know, whatever. Even if you want to go hardcore and invest in a gun, which I do love this for therapy, you can go there too. If you have any questions about ordering those, feel free. I'll send you the link. I don't get any props out of it. I just really like Trigger Point, the company, and they got good stuff. Okay, let's start. So first of all, whenever I start to kind of get into a foam rolling frame of mind, I want to start always at my feet. Oh, but my neck, yeah, bypass that. Go to your feet. Your feet are the first things that touch the ground, unless you're one of those people who just can't not handstand all day, every day. But your feet are so important in the proprioception, the way your body feels your environment. So I start off by, of course, putting on some toe spacers. These little guys right here. This company right here out of Canada, the toe spacer, super you know, the plastic on these work really well. I've gone through some from Amazon and they just break. So these guys are really great. So the toe spacers, I would highly suggest you doing them and putting them on as you do the foam rolling that we're about to go into, or any kind of foam rolling, or even wear them throughout the day. I've done that, and whew, if that doesn't tell you how your body is feeling, both inside and from the outside, you'll know real fast. Because those toe spacers, those little intrinsic muscles in your feet, are these little like barometers of like what's going on. So that'll be a huge tell of how your body's receiving and feeling the inside and the outside. So let's start off. Actually, we're going to do a little tennis ball stuff. You can use your foam roller for this, but starting off, we're going to always start with the feet. So as we stand up, and I'm making sure everybody can see me, we're just going to take that tennis ball, drop it on the ground, make sure your dog does not get it, and all we're going to do right here is just put our foot on that sucker and just roll back and forth. That's all we're going to do. You know, if you want to twinkle your toes a little bit, you want to cross, oops, you know, you're going to cross back and forth. One of my favorite ones is you drop the heel and you go back and forth over the balls, over the balls of the feet. Good. Scoot up a little bit. Get into that arch area where the arch attaches to the top little phalanges. And get into the arch, crisscross, crisscross, crisscross. And then get into where you're attached right to your heel, where a lot of people have plantar fasciitis issues. And then actually put the weight in the heel. You know, push into that heel. Good. And move on. That's it. Other foot. You don't have to spend, if you're spending more than about 30 seconds on one area, you're doing it way too much. And you want to make sure that whenever you are doing this kind of stuff, you are just kind of breathing. Don't stop breathing, because if you stop breathing, you'll die. That's usually what I tell a lot of my clients. And while they're on my table. And at the same time, you have to make sure that you are actually allowing yourself to just feel what's going on there. Make sure you're actually present in this moment of just like, oh, like right now, my left foot is way more tender than my right. So I'm like, oh, what did I do with my left foot? I have no idea. But right now we're trying to create symmetry. So back and forth and back and forth. Your tennis ball will do that. If you wanted to use your foam roller, you can do the same thing by just kind of putting pressure like that. No big deal. I like even rolling on the edges of the feet on the foam roller. I mean, that's sending some major, major sensory information to the rest of the body saying, okay, it's time, COVID or not, we are going to get some stuff done. Cool. Awesome. All right. After doing that, you should feel your feet being kind of like, oh, okay, I can actually feel a little bit more mobility in my feet. Hopefully no one's offended by feet in the screen. And that should feel really good. That's one of the best ways to start. If you had to start every single morning with foam rolling and just do that, lesson done. You're doing great. That's exactly something that you'll get so much benefit out of it. It's ridiculous. Your feet, we take so much for granted, and just taking a simple ball, and if you, again, you want to get cray-cray, you want to take something like this, and you're just going to town on your feet, which feels freaking amazing. Oh, believe me, it's so all day long. All day long. So, yeah. And usually these guys are running about $200, Amazon. So they're not bad, and they have pretty close to a lifetime warranty, depending if you which model you get. So if you're spending $500, I'm sorry, you spent way too much. Okay, moving on. We're going to get into an area which are we're going to get to the front here. So the shins, the quads, back here, quad area, and then going up into the back. Because realizing that whenever your quads and your tibia right here, these shin areas are really, really tight, and we call them sticky, to where they just don't glide. They kind of get, it's like a piece of gum in the middle that just got stuck. And so what you want to do is we want to create this nice glide and slide in there. And it starts at the feet and goes into the shins and goes to the quad, which naturally creates this tilt in your pelvis, which makes your back always want to kind of lean forward. And then, oh, you're exaggerating posture, and it just freaking hurts. So let's start off with that. And the way we're going to do that is two different ways. I'm going to show you how to do it with the foam roller, and then I'm going to show you how to do it with the tennis ball. Okay, so crazy way to do it with the foam roller is actually you just take the foam roller. Hopefully you have one that you can hold here, you can hold here, and what you're going to do is you're just going to hold. That's it. Move your foot. Now imagine you have a tennis ball and you're doing the same thing. Put it right there in the meat. You know, there's a nice little muscle line there, and you just hold it and you move the foot. So you want to do a flexion extension, so point and pull, gas pedal, pull it up. You want to go in, out, eversion, inversion. And then if you can, do some big old nice circles clockwise one way and then big old circles clockwise the other way. You're doing about 3 to 5 of those each. And here's the big little extra bonus for y'all. This is where now you can use that ball and actually friction the skin back and forth. You're gliding that skin up and down. Now I feel this in my big toe. If that doesn't tell you about that femoral nerve that can get entrapped in there and tell the big toe not to work, there it is. So if you're having things like turf toe, or you know, everyone wants their splay and their feet to be really awesome, or you have bunions. There you go. Stuff like that. This is something to where you friction up across this tib anterior, and you will feel a dramatic difference. So
Michael, I am feeling there's not a lot of meat on. I mean, I'm
yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So what do we? That's a little tender. What do we? You know, how does that?
Well, I mean, how about this? Find success in less. If it's too much, like I don't have much meat myself, so you know, you just want to find a little area and just kind of use the skin to your advantage. If there's anything that foam rolling really helps you to do is reconnect with your skin, because you're actually rolling all over it. And so you going across and across and up and down with a tennis ball, across and across, up and down with a tennis ball, across, up and down, that's already getting this nice glide going and technically attaching the brain back to the body of where it's lost signal. So if it's tender, you know, it's not injured. That's the thing. Like if it's in pain or if it's tender, it's not necessarily injured, but it is a place where the body's like, I don't know what to do with this. And so this is a really good way to use either a tennis ball, or again, I could use foam roller, push into it, friction, 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 back and forth, all the way down to the last part. Good. Now here's a little test. Go ahead and sit with your feet straight out, and point your feet. Which foot now can go more flexion, and now pull them back? Which one can now do more dorsiflexion? Congratulations, my right leg, after foam rolling it, now has more range of motion.
Same.
Yeah, so that's already a huge win. And if you're one of those people who are running a lot right now, which I see people in my park doing it right now, this is something where like, oh, if I'm gonna run as much as I'm wanting to run because I'm bored, or I just want to take on running now that I have the time, let's make this a regular part of my morning before I go out there. Because it's just gonna make you move better. It's just gonna make you just work way better. Okay, let's do the same thing for the other leg. Okay, left leg. Again, take that tennis ball, find that meat between the bones right here, which is kind of on that, so it's like about, what?
That's the more the
11 o'clock right there. So, and then start off by moving the foot first. So point and flex, gas pedal up and down, and then move the ball. Gas pedal up and down, 3, 2, 1, good. Gas pedal up and down, 3, 2, 1, good. And obviously when you're doing this on the other leg, notice the asymmetry. Notice what is different between the right and the left. And you're like, oh, that's right. I remember, you know, on a personal story, I had an axe blade take a right little bitty chunk out of my tibia on my right side. So I have a little bone missing on that area. So of course there are going to be some different feelings, you know, but when they get too radically asymmetrical, that sensation of feeling, it's going to be too much. And I need to make sure I'm doing this kind of stuff to create that neurosensory symmetry. All right, this is how we're going to move the ball. Leave the foot down, move the ball, crisscross, crisscross, up, down, move it up, down, crisscross, crisscross, good, up, down, crisscross, crisscross, good, up, down, crisscross, crisscross, and up, down, crisscross, crisscross. Good, awesome. Flap yourself around and test and retest. So go ahead and do that little point and flex with your feet. Do they look equal? Are they symmetrical? If they are, good job. If they aren't, you now need to do a little bit extra work on that one until they actually get there. Because the last thing you want to do is get up, stand up, and next thing you know, you kind of fall over and sprain your own ankle. Let's not do that. So nobody wants to do the shins. I promise you it's life-changing. Do that. Do the tib anterior, the shin, because it will literally just make you feel so much better when you stand up. It really will. Let me show you this one real quick with the foam roller. Now, if you're super crazy and you really like to go intense, which Dr. Waltz knows me, I kind of like intense, is you actually put all the pressure into this right here, and you're actually putting weighted pressure into it like that. You can go crazy if you want to there. Again, holding pressure with your body, moving the foot around, putting pressure on the body, move the foot around, and you're using your entire body. You know, and some people are just like, absolutely not. And I'm like, yes, you must. And again, last point, if you really want to get super, super advanced, now you go double. So that's all my body weight onto my 10. And again, you don't necessarily have to do it this way. I'd rather you find success in less. You know, but worst case scenario, you can go to that extreme because you don't feel anything. And when you don't feel anything in an area, or especially a muscle belly where you should be feeling something, you need to create extreme, aka pain. You actually have to create something there that's not going to be, you know, damaging, but you need to create sensation there in a big way. So, okay, now with that.
Gentle, you could ease into it if you.
Ease into it. I'm definitely learning my 20 plus years of just like, I usually kind of go, oh, let's go really hard and gradually go down. I'm learning now to go down and gradually build up, you know. So, and it's always learning every day.
And
all right, so
I'll interrupt you. For those who don't know how AWC came to be, it was because of this man and his elbow in my buttocks, gluteus maximus.
Yes, in the glute.
And a conversation that was had on the table, the massage table. So just so y'all know, it was painful, but it was fruitful. It was good.
You know, and you know, there's something to be understood about pain. Pain is information. You know, obviously, if you have, you know, something traumatized to you, usually you don't feel pain there at all. You're in shock, and your body goes into a state of like, what the hell's going on? And then you start to feel pain, and you get information. But kind of remember that, you know, pain that you feel is information. So it's your job, and also the job of a good body worker or therapist, to help you to interpret that correctly. And you know, and that changes day to day. So you have to be on it like a language. Boom, boom, boom. Hit it a little bit every day, and next thing you know, you're speaking Italian. So, okay, so let's go ahead and go on to the quad. Now, the quads here, these front thigh muscles, there's 3 primary muscles we're going to focus on right now, even though it's called a quad with the 4 muscles. We're going to focus on 3, which is right here, this VMO, vastus medial obliquus. We're going to hit there right down the middle one, all right, which is going to be more the runner's muscle, the one that attaches to your kneecap. And then there's the big old lateral muscle right through here. So those 3 right there are going to light you up like Christmas or Hanukkah or any celebration that you go. It will send you some information that you're like, I had no freaking idea. So, hey, Michelle. Oh, she's coming on. Okay. All right. So let me see if I can do this correctly here. So remember the rules of foam rolling is to where it's not about moving the roller, it's about moving the body. Okay. So friction is always your friend. So those are really, compression always helps, but friction is always your friend. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start where the foam roller is gonna be right here, about maybe an inch away from your knee or your bony kneecap. From here, what you're gonna do is you're actually going to go on your hands and your knees. You're gonna place that foam roller right there, and you're just going to kind of go into this position right here. Now, you can go ahead and let your entire leg fully extend if you want to, okay? Hopefully you feel supported on your hands and on both your hands and both your knees. If you don't feel comfortable there, feel free to go down to an elbow. No big deal, okay? But you want that foam roller to be right there where the meat starts. Okay.
Just so you know, I'm using a basketball now.
Yep. You know, and if you have a peanut or if you have a tennis ball, it's completely fine. And if you have a basketball, you know, so I know Amazon Prime just opened up their, where you can order non-essentials, so order your foam roller today.
I just got mine. I literally just while you were talking.
All right. Okay, so from here what we're going to do is, again, we're going to go with the whole, we're not going to roll back and forth. What we're going to do here is find our spot. We're going to do some flexion extension. 5 reps. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move up, and we're going to do the same thing. 5. Now, I forgot to mention, we are working right now that middle muscle, which is the rectus femoris. the muscle that attaches to your kneecap and to the top part of your hip. Always known for runner's knee. 5 times, move down. Give me 5 more times. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Move up a little bit more. It should take about 4 to 5 little bitty spots here to hit all of that muscle group. Good. And one more up. Now you're not going all the way up to your hip bone. You're going just shy of it. There's a little point where you're going to find where the tissue changes, and that's where that rectus femoris kind of ends and your hip flexor begins. So we're going to finish that last part there. 3, 2, 1, and done. That's it. All right. Cool. We should have done this before. I apologize, but here's something you want to try is actually find your hip points. So the actual points on your hip bones where you can do it standing or sitting, doesn't really matter. And as we foam roll, what you're going to see happen is that one is going to start to lift up and the other one's going to stay down. As you do the other one will start lifting up. Hence, you're now creating elasticity and mobility in that muscle. You know, your bones are those landmarks that will tell you, oh, I'm doing it right. All right, so we did that part. Now let's go into this VMO part. So the VMO, again, is this nice teardrop muscle that you see a lot of runners have. And we can approach that 2 different ways, but we'll do it this way. So you're actually going to take that foam roller, and ideally you actually want to be on your hands and knees like this. Now this sucker is going to light you up. Major reason why is that there's a bundle of nerve opening. There's a nerve, they call it a grommet, that is right there, and it's one of the major tellers for your knee to stay in alignment with your hip, and that thing gets really irritated. So what we're going to do here is we're going to find that little VMO, and we're going to bring our leg up and down. So we're actually cross frictioning at this time. A little bit different. Good. And if you want to extend and bend, go right ahead. 3, 2, 1. Scoot up a little bit more. We're not going to go any higher than mid-thigh because that's where that muscle belly ends. So, and we are kind of at a little inward angle here. So going cross friction there. 4. Now this might light you up, and that's okay. That's okay. Slow down, breathe, don't die. And give me some extensions. Like that one right there. Merry Christmas. 2, 1. And just move up just a little bit more, like you're almost halfway in your inner thigh, but a little bit internally rotated. And same thing, rotate the leg in and out. 4, 3, 2, 1. And give me some extension. 4, 5, 4, 3, ouch, 2, ouch, 1, and ouch. Good. Awesome. That is your VMO. Easy day. Now, obviously I found some ouch spots that are right there. And those ouch spots, a lot of times they're just, you're rolling over a nerve. You're rolling, especially in that particular area, you're rolling over nerves and everything feels sensitive. Now, when you find an area to where you roll over it, it's ouch, and you feel the pain somewhere else, that's a trigger point. That's a muscle adhesion that has now been locked up like this due to scar tissue, overworking, underworking, all that. And a whole bunch of the nerves there are also miscommunicating as well. So whenever you hit those spots, which we're probably going to find a lot of them right here, you're going to do the protocol of hold it for 30 seconds, 50% of the pain goes away, and yeah, those two right there. Those are two your goals, because this lateral muscle right here, that's where a ton of my runners and CrossFitters, it doesn't really matter. This is where all the knots are, a lot of them. So let's go to that one. A little toe spacer came up. Okay, so now this gets a little bit more difficult, because now if you don't feel comfortable being on your shoulder or your side, we'll have to figure something else out. But ideally what you want to do is you want to be on the lateral, you want to be right there starting at the meat, not on your knee, not on the lateral part of your knee. You want to be right here where the tendon is, where the IT band tendon is, and you're going to be on your side like you're doing a side plank. Now, I haven't lifted myself up, all right, because holding yourself up like this for a long period of time is not that comfortable. So what we do, make sure this is right. And again, please let me know in the comments if you can see me or not, because I'm using my computer to do this. So what you do here is I like for you to do lift up, bend the knee 5 times, bring it down. Scoot up a little bit, right there. Again, lift up, bend the knee, 4, 3, 2, 1, bring it down. Good. And again, moving all the way up to that upper part of the hip, which you'll get to that part of the hip soon, which, there it is. Now, if you want to cross your leg over like that, you can. So you're giving yourself a little bit more base of support. Cross it over and bend the knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And that last little part where you're going to get where the latter part of the muscle and you'll feel this little bony prominence here called your trochanter, that sucker right there is where you want to stop. You don't want to get on that bone at all. It does not feel good. And again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. That's it. Cool. Awesome. All right. We did all 3. We did 3 of the 4 quad muscles. So let's go ahead and either kneeling or standing, see what's happened with your hip point. There we go. All right. And something I've noticed is that my right hip point over here is a little higher up and more set back as opposed to on my left one feels more pointy. So are y'all feeling the same? Feeling anything different? Doc?
I think my right is higher. Yeah.
Yeah, it's lifted up. It's allowed the hip to be able to kind of reset.
Right. Anyone else want to unmute and let us know? We're all shy today.
Okay. It's all good. So again, take that with a grain of salt. Make sure you're doing it only to the point of comfortability, because if you foam roll in an area that is like, you're just like, holy wow, I cannot handle that for 2 seconds, you need to be doing it more to where you are just rolling something on it or doing the frictioning thing we talked about. So this is another easy way of getting another way of foam rolling, to where you actually take it, dig it into the skin, friction up and down, friction cross, friction up and down, friction cross. Same thing here, friction up and down, friction cross. And you'll get probably the same benefit from it as well. You don't always have to go hard. And I know I can't believe I'm saying that, but you don't always have to go hard. All right, so let's do the other leg, okay? So a little bit of a refresher here. All right, we're gonna do the middle one first. So again, starting at that first inch right there above the kneecap. And from here, going up into the elbows, underneath our hands and knees, and oops, let me scoot back some. Again, give me 5 reps, right where you're at. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, scoot up a little bit. Now, if you want to take this another level, you can do a little bit of the windshield wiper. So bend the knee and windshield wiper across the muscle belly. So this is another extra. Still following the premise of we're not moving the roller, we're moving the body. That's what matters. Move up a little bit, and you can do both. 5 of those. 3. I don't know if anybody can hear my knee pop. And then once you do that, 5 of these. Back and forth. And see which one benefits you more. Some people respond really well to the cross friction. Some people respond really well to the flexion and extension. So you have to be your own. Your body is unique. It is all yours. So own it and find out what really works. 4, 3. I hear my knee popping. Doesn't hurt, but it does tell me some things that I'm like, okay, let's make sure that I'm nice and warmed up before I go for my run later. 2, 1. Good. That's it. Awesome. All right, moving on to the VMO. So hands and knees, getting right into that little teardrop right there. Remember, we're not on the inner thigh. We are actually on the quad. So there is this like little bit of an internal rotation that has to happen. And again, we're going to go for the 3. Oh man, somebody needs a tan. Not you, Doc, me. I need a tan.
Oh.
Good. And again, you can do the same thing where I'm actually cross-frictioning now, up, down, extension, flexion, extension, flexion. Move the roller up a little bit into a new section. And again, flexion, extension, 3, 2, 1, and rotation, rotation, cross-frictioning there, 2. That lights me up pretty good, so I'm guessing I know where my knee is popping, 2. Now here, let's go through the light up part. To where I found a trigger point. I feel that down over there. So I'm like, okay, that's a little trigger point. I need to take 3 to 5 deep breaths. Let my body regain some trust in that area because it still thinks it's injured. And there are some adhesions there that are making it even more testy. So as you hold that here, yeah, the pain starts to go away. You know, and that can happen over a 36-second period of time. That could actually happen over a minute time. Depending on what your tolerance level is, what your pain level you can handle, that can make a big difference. Good. And let's move up to that third part, cross-friction. Again, I can feel it again right about there. And I'm going to hold that sucker for a good few breaths, activating parasympathetic, because if there's any time to be in parasympathetic, it's definitely now. 2, 1, and done. Yeah, there it went. Good, awesome. And coming on up. All right, last part on that lateral quad. Now we're going to get into this lateral quad here. Again, if you want to be the strong one, believe me, it doesn't feel that great on my shoulder either. And I want to kind of just do back and forth, bending, 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 and stay propped up. By all means, please do so. If you want to take it down and move it up for yourself, do that as well. There's no wrong way on doing that. The only thing we're making sure we're doing is we're actually moving the roller, moving the body, not the roller. Now this one, oh yeah, I'm getting all the Christmas lights down my leg. So I'm gonna have to do my best to just hold on to position and just let my body respond and then move on. Friction, friction, friction. Extension, extension, extension. Now I wonder why my left hip always hurts. Oh yeah, it's because my quad. Good. And again, stopping right where you're about to get to that little bony prominence. And you don't want to roll over that. That is not a good area to roll over. We're just hitting the lateral quad. Woo! Hiya, mama. That's a good one. I'm just going to hold that and try not to die on camera. That's a good one. So there you go. So this is a really big eye opener for me personally because I tend to always have right leg dominant issues because I've sprained both ankles multiple times. I've had left leg issues here and there, but this is something showing me something different that I was not perceiving at all. And that is a huge win. So if you're doing this just for almost diagnostic reasons, just to find out where your body is, winner, winner, chicken dinner, you're doing it right. That's where you can really make huge amounts of change because you now gave your body information that it didn't know it had. Again, sorry, you gave your brain information that it didn't really know. So win. Okay, any questions before we move on to the back?
Anyone?
Euler, we lost one. It's okay.
All right.
It's okay. Yes. Oh, cheers for your coffee. Hopefully this foam rolling is brought to you by Dirty Bill's, my favorite dive bar. Just kidding. Really great place. All right. Let's go into the back. Now, obviously, we've all done this, right? Where we get the foam roller, we put it on our backs, and we just go to town, right? Up and down, up and down, up and down. Especially sometimes pulling on our neck while we do it. Terrible, 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 terrible. Especially when you're doing that kind of rolling up and down your back. It feels good because you're getting sensory input. At the same time, you're not staying with the integrity of the structure. That's what's happening, especially if you're doing any neck pulling, which I'm 100 times guilty on that because I'm just like, God, can someone just pop my neck? And all my chiropractor friends, and I'm sure chiropractors that will see this, are just like, no. you know, it's not a good thing. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use the foam roller as more of a compression point. And again, we are going to let it take its time in opening this up. So we'll take the foam roller here, and one particular area I like to start with, let me scoot out, is your sacrum is a part of your back. You know, it may be in your butt, but it's a part of your back. So I'm just going to have to come here, and I'm just going to go into this bridge pose, and glutes turned on. Yep. So I'm going to put that foam roller right on my sacrum, and I'm just going to let my body sit on it. I just let all my weight just down on it. And I'm just going to kind of go back and forth and slightly windshield wiper my legs back and forth, really kind of working that sacrum a little bit, because there are muscles, lots of ligaments, there are muscles in the sacrum. So going back and forth, you can kind of scoot up a little bit, hit a bit of the lower sacral, scoot up a little bit, hit a little bit of the upper sacral. Super, super easy. Back and forth and back and forth. Feels good. Awesome. Now from here, I'm going to nice and slowly move that up. Now, we're moving it into our lumbar, so you have to be careful. Do not jack up your lumbar. So that's why I want you in this bridge position, because in this position, you can use your legs to lift up off and you're completely fine. But as you now put it in your lumbar position, now we're going to slowly let our lumbar kind of take over, and we're going to kind of do this cow, or like, I don't know, supine cow here, and then we're going to tuck right back underneath, and we're going to let it arch back, slowly letting that rectus abdominis open up, and then slowly come back in. So you're doing kind of a tail tuck, cat cow, pelvic tilt combo, but you're applying pressure as you go into your cow, and then tucking using your glutes to lift you up into your cat. So you should be feel like this. Now I feel this interesting. I feel this right here where I have some chronic pain, and so hence it re-identifies like all the pain that I'm feeling in my front hip is actually coming from my lumbar. So as I do this more, this will start to feel better. Good. Lift up, move that foam roller up a little bit more. You should be around L 1, 2, 3, 4 right now, and slowly but surely start to arch it back. Only go to what you're comfortable with. The slower you go, the more you'll know. Or maybe she'll say, slow, smooth is fast. Good. You're just doing compression there. Now, if you want to add a little bit of a windshield wiper to kind of get a little bit more of the rectors, you might even get a little bit of a QL attachment there. Yeah. But use your legs to lift up and keep yourself out of danger. Super, super easy. Frankie, okay? Frankie sees a dog. Excellent. And pull that foam roller out. Good. And from here, I want you to go ahead and do some breathe in. Give me a cow. Go ahead and arch that back. Breathe out. Give me a tuck. Breathe in. Give me an arch. Breathe out. Give me a tuck. Breathe in. Give me a tilt. Sorry. And breathe out. Give me a tuck. Good. Awesome. All right. How did that feel? Doc, you still alive?
Am I still alive? Is that what you asked?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. How'd that feel?
Good. Feels good.
Yeah. It's different from, I mean, the lower back is it's a dangerous area, not because it's weak. It's because people really, if there's any part of their body that they are just really disconnected with beyond their feet, it's their lower back. People have no clue what is going on back there, hence the lower back pain, you know, that everybody ends up coming with. And lo and behold, majority of people who come to my clinic, whenever they come with lower back pain, do I go to their lower back? Absolutely not. I go to their front because I know that's usually where it's coming from. But we also make sure we address any proprioception or any sensory issues that need to be maintained there, which is usually where tape comes into play, because the tape allows you to actually feel the area where you have lost brain-body connection. So, okay, next part up. Now we're going to start getting into this area up into your thoracic. Again, this is something that you're going to have to take with precaution, and we are going to take that foam roller, and now we're going to go onto, now if you don't have shoulder range of motion like I do, so I can go really far back, can go into your elbows. Let me scoot back some. And if you want to go back to the bridge pose that you did before, or use a smaller foam roller, that's also another option there as well. Or last case scenario, you're 2 tennis balls, you're a peanut. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a smaller foam roller, and it doesn't really matter. Again, you're going to take that, and I'm going to place it right at where my diaphragm kind of really is, around the back there. And so from here, I can hold myself up like this. I'm barely on the foam roller. There's no issues there. If you have issues with range of motion on your shoulders, then go ahead and do a bridge pose to get into that position, okay? So from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm slowly going to let my body go down, and be careful. Just kind of use your hand as a guide and let that body go down all the way down, if you can, to where your head is on the ground. And you feel this extremely intense and great stretch at the diaphragm, at all the attachment points through here, through at the sternal point right here and around the ribs, and just taking some. What I like to do is I like to windshield wiper back and forth. Now again, this one might light you up, and that's okay. Like again, I feel this over here on my right SI. So I'm gonna find that spot. I'm gonna take some breaths. Good. And then very slowly use my elbows to prop up, and then use my hands to prop up. Okay, don't try to lift yourself up with your abs. That's not a good idea. Worst case scenario, if you have to kind of lean over and fall over, do that. Okay, that you don't want to just pop right back up out of that position. Good, awesome. How'd that feel? That's a little. That can get a little intense. Good. All right, move the foam roller up so it's a little bit between. Almost between your shoulder blades, but not almost there, okay? So here's where now we're gonna start. Crikey. Hold on. My dog is Hey, what are you doing? Get out. Okay. Okay. We now know that somebody was outside. Okay. All right, so again, you're getting it now to the point to where you have that foam roller right almost to your shoulder blades, but not between them just yet. And now we're going to do some good old-fashioned wind arms, some snow angels. So I know it hasn't snowed in Texas in a very long time, not to this point, but we'll do some basic good old-fashioned snow angels back and forth. If this starts to hurt your head, you can actually use your hands to support your head and just kind of lean back, stretching out that sternum, a little bit of the ribs, a little bit of the diaphragm, a little bit of everything. Breathing in to protect yourself. Breathe out as you lift, to contract, breathing in. Good. And I love the snow angel part. 3, 2, 1. Good. And you can either lift yourself up off of it, just to kind of give yourself a break, or you can move that foam roller up a little bit more, and now we're going for right in the middle of the shoulder blades. So you should be almost like kind of on your shoulder blades, but you're right across the middle of your back, okay? Again, if your neck is getting tired, go and give yourself a little bit of support, but I don't want you pulling on it. Don't pull on it, and just take a nice deep breath in as you go back, and breathe out. Breathing in, breathing out. And if you can hold there and give me a few snow angels, that would be great. Because if there's anything we've learned that connects our shoulders, our back is our shoulders. The mid, rhomboid, traps, all of that stuff. Good. Excellent. All right. All right. How'd that feel?
Good. You know, my right shoulder pops.
Yeah. All the time?
Yeah.
So again, this is that information that maybe either you forgot or the body's like, oh, that's right. That's chronic, terrible, pain shoulder that I need to guard, which needs, it's not so much that it needs to guard, it's that it just needs new information, new movement patterns to be able to find some relief. So don't go automatically into, oh, it pops, it hurts, I have to stop using it. Like, no, okay, it pops, great. Does it hurt? Yes. Okay, go slower. And then move on from there. And if you need to be completely, immobilized, then you probably have needed to go to a doctor a long time ago. So who knows, and we know a few doctors here, so Oh, good. In good
I
hands.
live with a shoulder surgeon, so I think it's.
Yeah, I think you're good. Yeah, right. All right. Last part of the back, which again people don't think about, just like the sacrum, is your neck. So again, be careful with this. There's two ways we can do this. You can either use your foam roller or you can use your peanut right here. And the way we're going to do this is by actually getting all the way on our back. Yep, you can see me there. Okay, take the foam roller and now put it at the base of your T-spine, which is T1 right here, and your C. So you should be able to, the foam roller should be up against your shoulders and right around your neck. So you're kind of putting pressure right into your circle. Now, this doesn't feel good. Just kind of, I would almost take the foam roller out completely and just kind of do some forward head, neck motions, and rotation there to kind of get some movement going. But let's put that foam roller there again and let that pressure and just let it relax. And what I do here is I will do a little bit of rotation there, hitting a little bit of the occipitals, suboccipitals, some really tender areas. And if you find a spot that lights you up, which right there, you can handle it, 3 deep breaths, 5 if you can, 50% of the pain goes away. 3, 2, 1. Good. And do a little bit of chin tucks. Do a little bit of back and forth, good. And chin tucks. And we're gonna do this like one more round of both of those. And back and forth. Now I know all of us have been at a computer longer than ever lately. And that's okay. This right here, I just heard it pop my neck, which that's okay. It actually felt good. This will help you regain your cervical balance again. All right, and come on up. This will regain that cervical, imbalance that we have, which is like, always cocked to one side, cocked to the other side, always forward headed, always exaggerated up, all that stuff right there. And after you've done that, do a few little circles, or I like to call them yes. Sorry, a little up there. So one of my favorite little neck mobility routines is my clients, I tell them to go yes. Only going to stretch, not going to pain. Good, 3 to 5 times. Give me a no. No, I don't want that cookie. I do, but I don't. Now maybe is where you do a little bit of a chin tuck and you tick tock. It's not a big motion. You're not doing this. So a little bit, little chin tuck, little hitting the scalenes. And then last thing is the whatever, which is the 360 all the way around and other direction, 360 all the way around. So again, we had the yes, no, maybe, whatever. Yeah, there you go. Hello. Hi, Frankie. She's like, leave me alone.
She's grown up.
Oh, yeah. She's definitely growing up. All right, guys. So that is a lot of the other body parts we didn't go over on the first one, but you're going to realize that the muscles that we hit, especially the ones on the legs, the shins and the quads, are major contributors to back health. Being able to hold yourself up and doing compression and a little bit of friction and movement with the foam roller up on the spine gives you way more benefits than just like, let's roll up and down, roll up and down, roll up and down. And the spine is something it's very resilient. It's supposed to be very, very bendy and flexy. At the same time, whenever you're guarded because you had back problems, it's very normal for you to be very not want to do anything and feel all the feels when you do it. So hence the little light compressions and you controlling it. It's all about having control can give you the most bang for your buck. And especially that cervical one, which Stacy, yeah, it's one of the best ones. It feels really good on the neck, especially whenever you've been in that little text neck or a Zoom neck. They're going to start calling it Zoom neck now. That's going to that we've all been doing a lot more. So yeah, that's it. Any questions? Please feel free to video in, chat in, Doc, you too.
No, it was awesome. I feel way more key. Now I want to go outside and walk and get restricted again, but you know.
No, and that's what the foam rolling, the foam rolling is literally another way to just reconnect your brain to your body through your skin. So whenever you do that every morning, I would almost challenge you for the next week, for the next 7 days, to foam roll every morning. Even if it's just one body part, try to foam roll in the mornings and see what a difference your body is now, how it's feeling, because it can feel itself again. The brain can actually feel its own self, which that right there will create the best healing and movement, possibilities endless.
Yeah. Great. That's sympathetic reset right there. Healing.
Yeah. So yeah, awesome guys.
So people can find you. I posted your website at FitTherapy.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Hopefully, again, with the pandemic going on and whatever government officials decide, I'm hoping we can reopen come the first week of May. But at the same time, we have no idea what can happen. So let's all just kind of, do our best to be patient. As hard as that is, I'm hoping everybody got a stimulus check. I know, right? Hope we had direct deposit. And yeah, let's just all do our best to just stay as patient and present as we can.
Yes, that's the goal. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate it. Stacey, take care. Home folder, you're great too. Or to Avril. Avril. Yeah, Avril. So,
she says,
right, take care.
Really good. All right. Talk to y'all later.
Thank you, Doc. Bye.
Bye.